Hey there, we're going to give you a quick tour around the Harmony of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's second largest ship by just a couple of feet shorter than the brand new Symphony of the Seas. So we're going to go start at the top deck and we're going to work our way down and show you all over the ship.
So we're going to take a little tour around the Harmony of the Seas and tell you a little bit about some of our experiences as we toured around. We're going to start on deck 16, where you're overlooking Central Park here and the sports pool and Slashaway Bay just below us. We're going to start here on deck 16 with the Windjammer. That's the main buffet on the ship. And it gets quite busy during peak food hours, peak meals. So let's say after 9 o'clock for breakfast, 12 o'clock for lunch, around 6 o'clock for dinner, it can get pretty busy. Line's not bad getting in. The crowds around the food aren't too bad. The biggest trouble you might have going at peak times is finding a table, finding a seat. But if you go at off times, it's usually not too bad. This is late morning here. And you see they have a lot of different buffet stations. There's hot and cold, entrees, sides. There are multiple bread stations. In the morning they have pancakes, waffles, French toast available. They also have multiple beverage stations that include free things like lemonade, water, flavored waters. You can see they have the Coke Freestyle machines up here. And those are for the folks who bought the beverage packages. And the seating area extends at the back here. There's also salads and fruits back here. And at the far end of the frame right now is going to be the opposite side. The Windjammer is basically duplicated on two sides. There are two halves. When it's not as busy, they will only open one side. In this case, there's only one side open at this particular time when I was walking through the Windjammer. Exiting, they have another Purell for you to wash your hands. Right above us on deck 17 are some of the suites that overlook the back and the sides of the ship. And as we head out onto deck 16, on either side, plenty of chairs. And right here we're looking over Slashaway Bay and the sports pool. There are multiple pools located in different locations throughout the ship, and different activities will be going on in those pools throughout the day. Now right over here we're looking at two more pools, as well as the Perfect Storm slides, and that's a series of 3 slides that drop down multiple decks, and those are pretty fun. Did those on the first day and a couple other days as well. I don't have any footage on the slides. They don't allow you to carry anything on there. The slides were a lot of fun, and you just need to be able to walk up the steps. Usually the line for the slides was not too bad. It gets busier on sea days in the mid-afternoon, but if you hit it earlier in the day or later in the day or on any day when the ship is in port, it's usually not going to be nearly as busy. Right now we're in the Solarium, which is the adult-only area of the ship at the front, the bow of the ship. And there is a bar on deck 16, and there's a couple of different decks to the Solarium. You can see there's a couple different levels here, and we're going to walk down to deck 15 here. On deck 15, you can see in the upper part of the frame is the pods, and they're kind of like private seating areas. Lots of loungers, plenty of loungers in here. As well as a few whirlpools. Did not see too many kids wandering around here when we were on there. I know some folks have said that sometimes they see kids wandering here looking for their parents, but by and large it is an adult-only area, and you won't see a lot of kids here. So it's nice to get a little bit of break from kids roaming the rest of the ship. There are places to get a few sprinkles and cool off a little bit in the heat. The Harmony differs from the other Oasis class ships in that it does not have a pool in the Solarium. The Allure, the Oasis, and the Symphony of the Seas all have a pool in the Solarium. You can see a Whirlpool right there. They've got multiple Whirlpools though, and right there in the background is the Slurring Bistro, which is a small buffet for breakfast. And it's open limited hours for breakfast, lunch, and then they have a little bit different setup for dinner. But it is an option where you can get some food in there that will be included with your cruise package. In this particular instance here, we're docked in St. Thomas, and so you can see the view that's available looking out the Slurring Bistro, or just outside of the Solarium. And out here on deck 14, if you walk outside the Solarium, there are wings on either side of the ship on the deck, and those are over the ship's bridge itself. And they offer fantastic views, whether you're in port. They're very popular for sailaways, and they have the King of the World, which you look through the clear floor, you can see all the way down to the ocean, 15 decks below, almost 15 decks below. And for those who are nervous about heights, you may find that a little bit unnerving. But it offers great views looking out in front of the ship, as well as some great views looking down the ship. Very cool place to be during a sail away or arrival in port. As we scoot along to the other side of the Solarium on the same deck, you can see the other wing hanging over the edge of the ship and get some great views looking back toward the aft of the ship. That little bulge sticking out there about a third of the way back is a whirlpool. They have a couple of whirlpools that have the edges right over the edge of the ship, so if you're on the outer edge, you can sort of look right down to the sea below, and that's a pretty neat view. The Solarium got a little bit warm, especially when it was in port. When the ship isn't moving, you don't get much of a breeze through there. But when it is moving, you do get a little bit of a breeze, and it's a little bit cooler then. It does provide a little bit of shade. Now we're walking back into the ship on deck 14. And looking over here to the left, you can see some of the whirlpools, those two whirlpools that are hanging over the edge of the ship. There's a duplicate on the other side of the deck. Whirlpools adjacent to the pools right there. And of course there are bars located throughout the area, as well as towel checkout. You can grab a towel, check it out. Those are complimentary as long as you return them. And more bars. There's no shortage of bars. There's 27 bars located on the Harmony of the Seas. So there's definitely plenty of places for you to get your drink on. Slashaway Bay offers a lot of fun activities for kids, smaller slides, some splashing areas, and a lot of fun for the kids to play around here. Plenty of seats around here as well. As we move back a little bit, you can see there's two locations for soft serve ice cream on this deck. One that we're looking at now, and if you go to the opposite side, to the port side of the ship, there is a similar ice cream serving stand there. Now, as we scoot through here, we're going to approach Mini Bites, and Mini Bites is just like a little snack place you can get that offers a little bit of breakfast in the morning, and then after about 11 or so, they switch to lunchtime to things, and they'll have everything from burgers, mini tacos, and things like that, French fries. So you got some basic snacks and cheese and chilies and toppings and things like that you can put on a burger or a sandwich or a taco or something like that and get a snack. There are pool tables, table tennis that are enclosed so you don't get affected by the wind or have your ball bounce way away. There's the sports court, which they do dodgeball tournaments, basketball, soccer. They do quite a bit of sports activities, and then it's open for free play as well. Looking back the other direction, we're over Boardwalk now, which is down at deck 6, and all these balcony cabins look over the Boardwalk area below. And there's also a zip line that flies across the boardwalk here. And these balconies all have great views of the Aqua show when that is going on. You can see the zip line that goes across. It's a very short ride, but a fun ride. And you're about 8 decks up in the air. So it's a pretty fun ride, exhilarating, if a little bit short. Here is one of the 2 flow riders. There's 2 flow riders at the back of the ship that are 1 deck up from where we just were. And they have some grandstands there so you can sit and watch friends or family, or just take in the experts. Every so often in the mornings they do have open times for the guys or gals who are really good at the flow rider. And it's pretty fun to watch them and see what they can do. Right here we're looking at the Abyss, which is the dry slide. It's a slide you don't need to wear your swimsuit, you just wear your shorts. And you can just go down, it's 10 decks down to deck 6, which is the boardwalk. You go down there and drop all the way down. You have to catch an elevator if you want to come up and get in line again. And right next to the Abyss is the Wipeout Bar, as well as the other flow rider. Usually when they've got both flow riders going, one will be dedicated to boogie boarding and on your belly or on your knees, and the other flow rider will be dedicated to stand up. And if we go over here to the left on the port side of the ship is Harmony Dunes, which is the mini golf course. It's usually pretty busy on sea days, but that is a fun offering. And if you look up here, there's the lower level is the Windjammer, the upper level are the loft suites, and those are 2-story lofts that overlook the aft section of the ship. And right here we're looking at some of the teen hangout areas. There's a teen section of the ship right in here. You can hang out in that little area. Lots of activities. Here's the other ice cream section I was telling you about. Those are free soft serves, and they change which flavors of ice cream they have offered each day. You can do the scuba courses there, and they have some information on that. More bars, the other side of the pools. Definitely plenty of places to get drinks. They usually have drinks of the day posted there. Plenty of people to entertain you. I know on some ships sometimes it can get very crowded at the bar waiting for drinks. You're not going to have that problem on this ship, even though there are 6,000 plus people on the ship. We never had to wait very long to get a drink. Here's another look for the Perfect Storm slides. 2 of those twisty slides, and then there's a third on the other side of the ship. 2 more of the Whirlpools hang over the edge of the ship. As you can see, there's so much already, and we've only covered 2 decks of the ship. Dropping down to deck 12, we encounter the card room. And that's going to be where you can find there's a little library, a very short mini library is available there. They also have computers where you can purchase internet time if you need to, if you don't have your own computer or a phone. Plenty of tables to play games. It's not a very busy space, but it is there available if you want to get a quiet place to play games together with your family inside. And this is just one of the view screens located throughout the ship to tell you what's going on, where things are happening. Also on deck 12 you will find Wonderland, which is it's themed to a little bit of Alice in Wonderland. There is a very unique menu based on the elements, and they find out a few things you like, a few things you might be of interest or don't like, and they present a unique menu. It's very interesting. It's not steak and potatoes. It's a very different kind of cuisine, and we're going to have a little video on that coming up pretty soon. It's definitely something that must be tried at least once for the experience. Now we dropped down 4 decks to Central Park on deck 8 for the next public area, major public area. Central Park is basically what it sounds like. It's like Central Park in the middle of the ship. Right here is 150 Central Park. That's one of the signature restaurants, specialty restaurants. It does have an additional charge. You can get a little bit of a discount if you purchase one of the packages for multiple specialty visits. But this area is beautiful. There's thousands and thousands of live plants in the area. Very peaceful area. In the evening they have classical music, classical guitar or some jazz guitar being played. Beautiful to sit under the stars, have a drink at the Trellis Bar, and just look at the scenery, the greenery, and listen to the music. And it's just a very beautiful section of the ship. There's even a couple of hidden pathways along there in Central Park. Jamie's Italian is a very popular specialty restaurant on the ship. We did not eat at Jamie's on this particular trip. It gets decent reviews. It gets mixed reviews depending on who's eating there. But it is a specialty restaurant available for an upcharge. But as mentioned earlier, there are packages available where you can get a little bit of a discount by buying multiple specialty visits. One of our favorite places to eat was right here in Central Park at the Park Cafe. Park Cafe is famous for roast beef sandwiches, and they have light breakfast offerings as well as pastries and soups and build your own salads. We really like the Park Cafe, and the roast Kimmelwick sandwich is really good, especially if you get some of the fresh horseradish on it. But this section of the ship is just really beautiful, and it was a great place to visit. Chops Grill, another upcharge restaurant on the ship, one of our favorites. We liked it so much after eating dinner on the first night, we decided to eat lunch there on the last day that we were on the ship. Everything was really good. You can get as much as you want for appetizers, desserts, and sides. If you do want additional entrees, there's a slight charge for that. But everything was phenomenal. The shrimp was huge. The fillets were cooked great. We really enjoyed our visit to Chops. Oh, and the mushroom soup was also a big favorite. And here's just a quick peek inside of Chops. There are some seats outside. We ate inside for both our lunch and dinner. Trellis Bar, I wish we'd spent more time here. It's a neat little bar in Central Park with some great views. The balconies that overlook both Central Park and the Boardwalk are very popular. They do offer just a little bit less privacy, as you can see right across to the other folks' staterooms right on the other side of the Central Park area. But they are a neat place to be able to sort of watch what's going on in Central Park or listen to the music in the evenings. Now we walk back inside the ship on deck 6 overlooking the Promenade, which is on deck 5. Lots of stuff going on. It's almost like an indoor mall on deck 5. But continuing on with deck 6, we're at the aft of the ship, and here's the boardwalk. And the boardwalk is exactly what you think. It seemed like an old style beach boardwalk. There is a working carousel that is free, is included with your cruise. So the kids liked it. We planned to go on it a couple of times, but never quite made it on. They have the Boardwalk Dog House, which is complimentary. Includes lots of different style of hot dogs and brats and a variety of toppings. That was free. Just walk up there and just grab a quick bite anytime you wanted. That was definitely a popular favorite of ours. Across the way you got Starbucks, which of course is for an extra charge if you feel like you need your Starbucks. As you can see, the carousel offers a lot of different characters and animal types on there. There's also an arcade located on the boardwalk, and that's coin operated or tokens. You purchase tokens, and it does cost to use the various arcade games in there. There's kind of a small one here. There was another arcade on another deck that we didn't stop by, but this one has got a few things if you got kids who definitely need to be playing some of those arcade games. Across the way there is a gift shop, and you can see some of the balconies up above overlooking the boardwalk area. Right here we're looking at Sabor, which is the Mexican specialty restaurant, and we actually ate here one night when we had to make some changes to our plans to eat in the dining room, and we really enjoyed it. It's all you can eat, and we certainly got excellent service as well as some really good food there. Johnny Rockets is available on the boardwalk. That's also an upcharge, except for breakfast. Breakfast is free, so you can go get a free breakfast. Not a lot of people know about it, so it's a good place to get food in the morning and not have to deal with some of the crowds that you might otherwise be seeing in places like the Windjammer that are busier. Looking right above us, you actually enter on deck 6, but you look up, there is the rock climbing wall, and that was a lot of fun. It's duplicated on both sides. We actually had a chance to do that. You'll get to see a little footage from that in one of our other videos. And here's the Aqua Theatre, very unique, located in the aft section of the ship. The depth goes up to 18 feet in the pool of water. They have high jumping. It's almost like a Cirque du Soleil show on water. It's really fun to watch. Very unique show that they offer, and if you go on one of the Oasis class ships and have the opportunity to see the Fine Line or one of the other Aqua shows, it's definitely a must-see. So you can see the views that they've got on some of the boardwalk balcony cabins here, and a little closer look at some of the boardwalk doghouse offerings. They do have some little short side items, just little tiny tastes of side items if you want it with your dog. Now, coming out of the boardwalk, as we turn around, you can see Focus, which is the camera and photo section. It's all touch screen. You can use your bands that you have or your seat pass. And this is the Schooner Bar. We spent a lot of time in here almost every night. There's usually a piano sing-along going on every night in the evenings, and it was a lot of fun listening to a lot of different tunes, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and you do have a bar located over here as well, plenty of servers, and we really enjoyed coming in here for the evening music. They also do trivia in here quite a bit, and some other group activities. Here we're looking over from the Schooner Bar over at the Rising Tide. That bar moves between deck 5 on the Promenade and deck 8 in Central Park. And you'll see a lot of footage from that in one of our other videos. But that bar goes up, up, up. It takes about 5 minutes to go up to deck 8, and it leaves about every 15 or 20 minutes. It was pretty fun to ride that up and down. Now over here we're looking at, this is deck 5 in the Promenade. We're looking at the Bionic Bar, and this is really cool. It was pretty neat. You basically have like an iPad type tablet, and you can either pick one of their pre-made selections, or you can also build your own drink by putting in the ingredients and how much you want to put on it. And these bionic arms make the drink for you, and you can watch it as it happens. Another look at the Rising Tide Bar and guest services on the other side, right beneath the Schooner Bar. There's also Cafe Promenade, and they have everything from sandwiches and baked goods to cookies, drinks, and coffees. It's a popular place to just get a snack or just get a little something to eat or drink, especially when there's a lot of activities going on in the promenade. Sometimes they have parades or shows or other musical activities. You can see the next cruise. That's where you can book your next cruise and talk to a representative about what's available. Walking further down the promenade, there's a number of shops there as well, duty-free shops. They're open at different times. There's the Boot and Bonnet Pub. You can get a variety of different beers and different beer-related cocktails and things like that. Sorrento's offers pizza on the ship. This was a very popular place for us in the evenings, late at night, 11 o'clock. You're looking for something to eat. Often our choice was to go to Sorrento's Pizza. There are not a lot of late night options, Park Cafe and Sorrento's being two of the big ones. It's Bolero's, which is the Latin bar. And on air is where you're going to find a lot of games being broadcast. If you're cruising during football season, you'll see a lot of football games aired in here. This is also where karaoke tends to happen. And so this is pretty fun. If you are showing up for something like karaoke in the on-air bar, it does get pretty crowded, and it's best to get there a little bit early to make sure you get a seat. Here you can see the excursion area where you can basically use the tap screen and see what excursions are available and book different excursions or change your show reservations and things like that on the ship. Heading past the elevator bank to the front is the Royal Theatre. This is the bow of the ship. The Royal Theatre has a couple of different levels, and that's where they're going to have the big headliner shows. The Broadway productions such as Grease is what we saw in Harmony of the Seas, and that's going to be there at least another year or so. Heading down to Entertainment Place, which is on deck 4. Head down the stairs, and there's a variety of little entertainment bits down here. You see the lower section of the Royal Theatre is right here. And as we turn, you can see here's some of the screens to tell what's going on. Jazz on 4. That is the jazz club on the ship. And we wander in here, and there's obviously a bar in here, and they do have nightly music available. Neat, quiet little space. We did not actually see any shows in here other than just in passing. But it's kind of a neat little layout there. As we come out and turn to the left, we can see the comedy club called The Attic. And this was very popular every night because there are so many people on the ship and there are so few seats in the attic. You must make reservations ahead of time, and it's best to pick a night when you'd like to go see a comedy act and see that. They also have standby line, and quite often they do get a lot of folks in on standby. There's the Diamond Club there for frequent cruisers. And right ahead here is Studio B. This is the ice rink on the ship. Yes, there is an ice rink on the ship. And they were closed at this particular moment, so I'll show a clip from one of the shows we went to. It's a themed ice show. They also have a free skate they call Ice Skate, which is all the skaters doing the music they like and doing the performances they like to do, their favorite kind of skating, and is more free form. Walking into the casino, the hallway to the casino also doubles as the art gallery, so plenty of art pieces available. And then we take a look here. The casino is pretty big, pretty quiet in the morning, which is when I was going through here. This is morning on the day that we were in port, so it wasn't very busy. But in the late afternoon and evenings, it was quite busy. As we go through the casino, deck 4 here, this is one of the dining areas on the ship. There are 3 decks of dining rooms, and there is a central area you can sort of look down or up, depending on which dining area you're in. But these are the main dining room. And then as we walk out on deck 4, we are going out to see the track. Now here's the walking and running track that circles around the ship. And one level up from here is also going to be the gym. We'll point that out when we get to it. There's also on either side of the ship these little areas here that are kind of hidden away. A lot of people don't know they exist, so they can be real quiet, but a neat place to watch the ocean going by or just look out at the port. Here's what the running track diagram looks like. Tells you distances and where you are on the ship. And right over here to the left is the entrance to the fitness center. And the fitness center has quite large and has quite a few different machines for depending on whatever you want to do, treadmill or cycling or things like that. There's plenty of machines if you want to exercise on the ship. And we're finishing here at the Promenade. Hope you enjoyed the tour of the ship. We're going to have another tour coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a tour of the behind the scenes area, the crew areas. And there's going to be a separate video for that. And that was a really cool tour to take. So hopefully you check in for that. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Thanks for watching. And remember, have a good time all the time.